Okay, welcome to another edition of Financial Freeway. I'm heading into work and it is getting a little darker, I've noticed. I like to leave for work a little bit early, but sunrise is getting a little bit later and later every day. I'm a little bit late this morning because on Wednesdays, today's Wednesday, I go and meet a friend and we go for a swim in the ocean. And it's kind of a unique and unusual experience. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay, not letting you get in front of me. So it's a unique experience because we are purposely going out there in the morning. We get there at 5:30 in the morning. We've talked about this before, and it's the cold immersion therapy that we started. The problem is that now, the more we do it, the more we're finding that it's actually an enjoyable experience. It's not, in the beginning, it was about seeking out discomfort, seeking out misery. The thing is that it's getting to the point where I miss it and I enjoy it. So we meet at 5:30 in the morning at Scramble Lagoon and we go into the water. So this morning, we meet 5:30. By the time we're done, we get in there, we get out, I get home, I get dressed and ready for the day. I get out, I'm a little bit late, like it's 6:30 now, so I'm probably not going to get one of the more desirable parking spots at work, but you know what, it is what it is, and sometimes we do the things we don't, we do the things we want to do, and we sacrifice the things that would make our lives, how do I say it? It's not nice here, it's the wrong thing. Sometimes we have to do things we don't want to do, and we miss out on things. We got to sacrifice things that we enjoy in order to really embrace the things that really bring a lot to our lives. And for me, the cold immersion is really is doing that for me. And also, I know a lot of guys have those tanks and they do the cold immersion in their backyards and stuff. But there's something about being in the ocean. There's just something about being in the ocean in the morning that at first it scared me, and now then I got comfortable with it. Now it's almost like I need it. So, and it's a good thing. It's been working really well for me. But again, you want to learn more about that, check out the podcast conversations in the cold, dark matters. I'll leave a link in the description. But what I want to talk about today was sacrifice, doing things you don't want to do. Quite often, I will be talking to someone about some strategies. There's a friend of mine right now, he's in a bit of a tough spot. Him and his girl of 9 years have decided that they're going to part ways. And I do not think it was mutual as a whole, but I kind of think it was mutual. I mean, they both weren't happy. So the parting ways, and he's having a tough time trying to figure out how he's going to make ends meet, living on his own single paycheck. So I explained to him some options. We sat down, and he, asked me what I thought, and I laid out some ideas and some concepts. And every single one of them, he was very reluctant to accept as an option. And one of them was to simply get a roommate. And he really did not like that idea at all. He thought that getting a roommate would be nothing but a problem. I'll write this down, please. And that kind of shocked me a little bit because I feel, I remember when me and my wife first moved back to Victoria, we just got married. We couldn't afford a place on our own, so we had to get a roommate. We were married. We were trying to have babies. And we had to take on a roommate, and that was it was inconvenient. It was uncomfortable, and and the worst part was we were struggling financially, and he wasn't. He actually was doing pretty well. So it made it tough for us, knowing that he was getting a pretty good deal with rent, and he was doing so much better than us. But also, he didn't have anyone to worry about. He was just worrying about himself. He was living the bachelor life. He was enjoying it, and we couldn't have found. There's no way we could have found a different person to live with us. So having a roommate is not the optimum situation. Nobody. Oh, there you go. It's always better to not have a roommate. That's always the better way to go. But you need to make sacrifices. Nobody ever became successful without some blood on the floor. And I like to say that statement a lot, because there's so many people out there who think that if they stick to the guns, eventually they'll get what they deserve. And I gotta say, you gotta be able to adapt, and I think that's the key. My buddy right now, he's in a bit of a pickle. He's trying to figure out how to make ends meet with his new financial situation. And don't get me wrong, this guy is not destitute. He has options, but he's not adaptable. He's not willing to flex and bend and move to the situation. So, if you're rigid and you're not able to flex, and a prime example is when I was younger and I had got my job making $10 an hour, someone turned to me and said, I wouldn't roll my ass out of bed for $10 an hour. It's like, okay, well, I wish you the best. I couldn't find a job that paid more than $10 an hour at the time, so I ended up getting 2 jobs. I worked during the day, and then I worked during the night delivering pizzas. I did whatever I had to do to bring in the extra money because I was adaptable. And I think that is the benefit of having a childhood that is a little bit chaotic. Because if you have if you have a chaotic childhood where there's no sort of stability, you have to kind of roll and move and adapt quickly and easily. And that adaptability was what I used to move forward into my success, into my life. And furthermore, there was a time when I was doing a show, I was doing a magic show in, I think it was 2008, and this principal of the school was giving me a hard time. I said, you know, I was telling him how I wanted the theater laid out, and he goes, no, we're going to lay it out this way. I said, yeah, but I'm the professional performer here. I think you should listen to me. And he just quietly said, not happening. It's going this way. And a lot of people, when I tell the story to, said, I would have just flipped him the bird and walked backwards out of the theater and said, you're on your own. But I didn't, because I was adaptable. And I said, okay, let's do it your way. Let's figure it out. We put the theater his way, and I had to adapt to that method. I still got the show. I still, it wasn't as good as I said it would be, but it's that flexibility and adaptability that has served me so well going forward. Now, if I had to do it all over again, especially in today's market with the interest rates the way they are and rent and housing costs what they are, I'd get a roommate. I wouldn't even think twice about it. I'd get a roommate, actually, myself. I'd get a roommate even if I could afford it on my own, because I know that if I had the extra room, I'd make that extra money. Further to that point, I know a woman, and the reason I got into the short-term rental game was this woman was funding her retirement by renting out 2 bedrooms in her house. She Airbnb'd 2 bedrooms. She had people, strangers, come in her house. She charged them $70 a night, and she had it booked all the time. And that $70 a night translated to 2 rooms that were booked all the time, and that made her $140 a night. If you extrapolate that, that's $4,500 a month. That's someone's pension check coming in. So that made me think, wow, you know what? Here's a woman who had to adapt. She had to be adaptable. These are the things that I think are really important. If you're not adaptable, you will perish. That is what happened to the dinosaurs. it's not the survival of the fittest. It's whoever can adapt. Thanks so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, share the word, because we're trying to get the word out to as many people as possible. Have a great day. God bless.